All right, let's say your MacDev GT2 is leaking out of the breech area. Sometimes you'll hear it out of the feedneck too, or even out of the eye covers. It's a possibility. There's a couple culprits as to what that could be. So the main culprit is this 17 O-ring on the inside of here. So if we remove this, pops the bolt out, it's this little O-ring right here. So this is a number 17. And the reason that is because the bolt is cycling in and out of this can. And as it does that, it has the kind of possibility of picking up any debris, any kind of like lubricant or something like that that's on paint, or even some kind of impurity that's on paint, and it drags it back into that O-ring itself. And so I would say 8 times out of 10, if you're getting a leak from the feed neck of the breech on this marker, then it's going to be that O-ring. But there are a few other culprits that are kind of known for that too. First is this top O-ring here on the outside of this can. Sometimes this can catch a little bit of a lip right there, and take a little chunk out or something like that on this metal, even though it's rounded out. And two, you can get some debris or something in there if you're setting it down on a workbench, dirty workbench or something like that. This is not a dynamic O-ring though, so you shouldn't see that wear out very often, and that should rarely if ever be your culprit. This is a number 20 O-ring on the outside. The other kind of possible culprit, or most common culprit for that specific leak, is this power tube O-ring, or this tube O-ring here. It rides on the inside of this bolt, so it's consistently getting some kind of friction, except on the forward stroke of the bolt where it is allowing air to go through because of how the bolt is milled on the inside. And that's actually how the marker functions. I've got another video on that. And so as it goes back and forth, again, this is a dynamic O-ring, which means it has stuff moving across it. And so it can get worn, or again, it can drag in some kind of debris or something like that. So that's the other one that you'd want to check or change. Really, honestly, O-rings are so cheap, especially if you get them from, a wholesale source or something like that in Buna, that you might as well just change all 3 of them if you're having a specific issue and you're kind of sucked on time and you can't really have the time to troubleshoot. So again, this is how you would solve a leak that is coming out of either the feed neck or the breech or eye cover somewhere within the top section of this gun.